Hello there. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, we are going to talk about plagiarism and in regards to Love and Marriage Huntsville, specifically Tisha and Stormy. Is this a case of plagiarism or collaboration gone bad? And before we dig into these sound bites and take a look at the definition of plagiarism, I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. It would help me out so much because YouTube, for them to recommend videos to all of us, you have to have some stimulation on it, meaning you hit the like button, you comment, that helps as well. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary of these sound bites are allowed for criticism, and everything said here is alleged and my opinion. All right, so I have a few sound bites to play for you all. First, we're going to start out with Kiki. She is going to explain to Melody about what has hit the press. And you all know that it hit the press before this episode actually aired, how people noticed that Tisha's shipping policy was copied verbatim from Stormy's Canvas Beauty's website, including the email address that consumers would reach out to if they had any questions or concerns about their orders. And that was probably the biggest indicator that Tisha simply copied and pasted. Now we're going to hear each couple's account of the alleged plagiarism. And then I want to share a perspective that I gained when the beautiful, smart Hannah Grace came up on my panel for the most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she gave her opinion. And it really gave me something to think about. So let's go right on ahead and listen to Kiki give her opinion on it.
Did you see her release the whole Macy and Mila hair care line? I know about it because they had a booth at the expo. But that's what I know, they had one coming. So they released the hair care line. I'm kind of confused on if she's partnering with Stormy. Why do you think she's partnering with Stormy? People call me like, hey, Tisha released her hair care line. She's up under Stormy because on the website, on the return policy, it has Stormy's exact return policy, word for word. And then at the very end, it has the website, canvasbeauty.com. I know you lying. No. The way that tension was going in that expo meeting, after the expo, I wouldn't say they was in nothing together. And she hadn't said anything to me about releasing it up under Stormy. If she's not under Stormy's brand, then whoever edited that, they did a terrible job. And they need to fix that. Because that's straight up plagiarism. And people can be sued for that. Tisha has garnered a name called copy and paste. There have been many, I will say, close similarities over the past few years as it pertains to Tisha and what she does versus what somebody else very close to her in this friend circle has already done, me being one of them. What does power couple mean to you guys? Power couple. This girl knows that me and Martell have been Huntsville's power couple, okay? So get out of my shadow. Come on, girl. You got your logo and stuff similar to my Embrace logo. You're holding a podcast talking about marriage. Get out my shadow and do your own thing. The fact that we are now learning that her shipping policy was directly copied from Stormy's Canvas Beauty shipping policy, all I can say, Stormy's your turn now. Everybody better handle their scandal. Yeah, I agree. Handle your scandal. Exactly. As Huntsville goddamn turn. Right. Ooh, this is so hyper like I ain't never seen it so bad. Everybody get out of the drink, please. Please. Lord have mercy.
So I want to point out that, of course, it makes sense for Kiki to think of the term plagiarism because that's the professor in her. You know, that can get you expelled from a college if you are caught committing plagiarism when you're submitting a term paper or a midterm paper. So I felt like that made a lot of sense for her to mention that. And with her background, that would be something that she would take seriously and something that she would definitely notice. And then Melody gave her perspective on it with always feeling like Tisha has always copied off of her, but the player hating and the jealousy would not let her give Melody her flowers and give her her credit when credit is due, but yet you want to copy what she does. It is almost like single black female vibes. It's kind of ridiculous, but her pride won't let her say, Melody inspires me. I'm admired by her, and I try to emulate her with things that I do because I feel like she's so successful. She won't say those things. She'll just like copy and half step it. Like, to me, for you to just copy Stormy's policy and not even edit out the email, that is half stepping it. It's one thing to copy, but to even do a bad copy at that, oh my gosh. So then I want to give Stormy's perspective, and then I want to share with you all the excellent point that Hannah Grace made tonight on my channel. Here we go.
I don't think I text her back though. Oh, Tisha. No. You don't know this, but Tisha launched a website, a business for her daughters, it's hair care. And she copied and pasted Camis Beauty shipping policy and left contact. She didn't prove that already. No, and she left contact. Like, if you need help or someone orders, like, email Camis Beauty. It was a big deal. It made its way to social media. Like, people were like calling her out. It was spreading around then like wildfire. People were running with their narratives. People don't really like me on the internet. So they was like, oh, this is how Stormy selling her products. And I'm like, out of here. So she did her own. She didn't need nobody to help her. I don't think she did her own website, but to me the problem is like you should have proofread. I low-key I feel like embarrassed for her about it. And I feel like it's super embarrassing when your husband is like, oh, I don't take advice from Stormy, like I'm gonna invite her to the expo. But y'all copied my website. That's not good, Marcel. She could have just called you and asked you about the, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to help with anything. Yeah. I love doing stuff like that. Some stuff, don't try to rely on everybody in the beginning to do it. Do it yourself. Yeah. Because remember, I built Camis website myself when we started. So if you know how to do it, you know how to make changes. That was on that website for longer than it should have been. If she had to develop the website herself, or at least had a basic understanding of the back end, she could have went in there and changed it the moment she found out. I do want to speak with Tisha, not from a standpoint of being upset about it, but more so of a standpoint of how did that happen. She's actually not the first person who's copied something off my website. So, it's unfortunate, but I'm kind of used to it. The Scots, they're doing the celebration. It's like a barbecue for Kimmy's. She's doing radiation. So, I'm pretty sure Tisha will be there. I'll talk to her. I like the celebratory times. Yeah. I don't like, I've only had one.
Okay, so you heard Stormy telling her husband about how Tisha was copying the shipping policy, and the Camis Beauty email address was there, and it's all in the press. She said it hit social media, and I'm embarrassed for her. When we were talking about this tonight, Hannah Grace, and I know by the time you all see this video, it won't be Sunday evening, it'll be past that. But Hannah Grace pointed out and said, she felt like, in her opinion, that Stormy probably truly did know about Tisha's plans on copying the shipping policy. In fact, she feels like it was like a very much agreed upon collaboration, that perhaps Stormy would even get a percentage off of the products sold, allegedly, and in her opinion, because she was lending her ingredients or recipe, if you will, and the shipping policy to Tisha for that hair care line. And that makes a lot of sense because they're so close in the recipe for the products and with the shipping policy snafu, if you will. That would make very logical sense for Tisha to be so blatant with the copying and the pasting. What those two did not anticipate was Tisha being so sloppy with it and not thinking to edit out the Canvas Beauty email address. Neither one of them counted on this huge and embarrassing boo-boo. So if that is true, that it was a known collaboration with a snafu, then that wouldn't make it plagiarism. That would just make it ridiculous. All right, but there's always some ridiculousness coming from the Scots. So we have to listen to Marceau try to play in our faces like we are stupid with their explanation.
That Mason Mila's website has something about Canvas Beauty on it.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I instantly contacted the web designer and asked him, like, what is this?
Didn't the same web designer design her thing?
I don't know if he designed her website or not, but I know he's in that industry, and that's why we chose to use him for Mason Mila.
Probably a template, and that's something we should have caught.
But my thing is, I'm like, I paid you a lot of money for this website, so.
But y'all took care of it, right?
Yeah, he took care of it instantly.
Hey, mistakes happen. Remember, just think about Bet on Black. People are not just looking for the surface.
Yeah, they're looking for stuff. Right.
They're combing through it to see what's going on. If that wasn't there, they'd just be like, get them next time.
I'm getting emails. I'm getting phone calls. I'm just tired.
I'm with you. Your customers didn't catch it.
Yeah.
It was probably just some hater.
It absolutely was a hater.
You know?
Like, I don't even understand why I get so much hate. I'm like, I do so much for people. I don't talk about people. I don't try to do people wrong. I just don't understand why I receive like so much hate. It's just really irritating.
It's irritating.
So Tisha tried to fake cry in that scene, saying that it's a lot and she's tired. People are coming for her business and her marriage. Well, like the marriage, you all wouldn't give us so much material to go off on if there wouldn't be all of these rumors and the weird chemistry or lack of between the two of you and the way Marceau seems to disrespect you. With the business, it's the same thing. Had you just simply edited out the Canvas Beauty email address, perhaps you would have flown under the radar in terms of copying and pasting her shipping policy. To blame it on the graphics designer is as if us viewers are idiots. None of us are convinced that part of a graphic designer's role is to also do the writing, the content for your website. They are simply putting the website together, but it is your writing, your verbiage. And I even showed you all tweets where people said, you know, they were a graphic designer. They have never had to do the writing for anything that was on a website. So I also just want to briefly show you all something that I found about the definition of plagiarism. And of course, I'm starting out at Google. You know, I asked Google, what is plagiarism? And according to dictionary.com, it is the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. So then I scrolled down and looked up the 4 common types of plagiarism. There is direct plagiarism, the word-for-word transcription of a section of someone else's work without attribution and without quotation marks. This is especially key when you're in college writing those term papers. Self-plagiarism, mosaic plagiarism, and accidental plagiarism. And these 4 types comes from Bowdoin College. So when I clicked on the website and I looked at some examples, I am convinced that this whole shipping issue, if it was not a collaboration gone bad, then it would be a case of direct plagiarism. And then literally, it is when you do not attribute the quote, you know, and then they even gave like what the student wrote in their paper and the source where they got it from, and it's in bold. These islands were the home of millions of happy birds, the result of 100 times more millions of fishes, of sea lions, and other creatures. And then all they did was they placed a period at the end in their term paper, but this sentence kept going. The problem with this is that they took it word for word verbatim, and there's no attribution here that they got it from the source. So, I mean, it would have looked wild for Tisha to say, you know, the shipping policy has been given to us from Canvas Beauty. That is the source. But literally, that would take away from it appearing to be plagiarism. But I am convinced that definitely Hannah Grace has a point, that it was probably a collaboration. And the two, I don't want to even call them dumb blondes. That would be a disgrace to all the sexy blondes out there. But those two ladies, Stormy and Tisha, they did not bet on Tisha not editing out the Canvas Beauty email. So you all let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think this was a case of plagiarism or collaboration gone bad? And again, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I will talk with you all soon and have a great day. Bye-bye.